Blessed love, life warrior, Dharma Shakti here. Thank you for tuning in to Monday Message. Today's quote is also another one of my favorites. Pretty much all these Monday messages are just my favorite quotes. And so let's just dive right into it. Today's quote is, "It's okay to rest. It's not being lazy. It's how we find the strength to keep fighting." Now, I don't know who this quote is by, so again, if any of you out there know who wrote this amazing quote, I would love to hear it. But I really love and appreciate this quote because so many of us are overworked and overwhelmed and exhausted. And I meet a lot of high achievers and entrepreneurs and people with big dreams and big visions, and they just want to do all kinds of things. Parents and students and just so many people who have a lot that they want to accomplish, and we're doing a lot to accomplish those things, and we're exhausted and we're overwhelmed, and overwhelm leads to exhaustion. And so I just want to take a moment to remind you that it's okay to rest. It is okay to rest. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you're out of the game or out of the fight or out of the journey. Sometimes resting is what allows us to show up another day, to show up to another task. And it's important that we allow time for rest. You know, I wasn't able to get out last week's Monday message because I just didn't schedule my time very well, and things came up, and I was driving back and forth from Long Beach to Joshua Tree. I was teaching at a yoga festival. I had a lot of things happening, and I got home on Sunday. I was hoping to film my Monday message, and it just didn't happen. I was exhausted. Monday came around, I was exhausted. Tuesday came around, I wasn't feeling well, and I had to remind myself, it's okay to rest. It's totally okay to rest. It doesn't mean that I'm being lazy. It just means that I put my self-care as a priority, and I'm able to recognize when my body needs to slow down, when my body needs to adapt or adjust to routines that I have tried to create for myself. And sometimes we got to step out of those routines just long enough to rest and to give our bodies time to rehabilitate from the things that we put them through. So if you are feeling exhausted, if you are feeling overwhelmed, I ask you, do you give yourself time to rest? You know, I am intrigued by how many people I meet that don't have a day off. I too was this person. You know, being an entrepreneur and not working a regular 9 to 5 and sort of living outside of, you know, the American rat race or just mainstream lifestyle, it can feel like you're juggling a lot of things, and you feel like there's no time to rest, that you just got to keep going and keep moving and keep doing. And that's okay. That's okay. There is a time for that. But if you continue on that path, you are going to burn out, and then you will be no good to nobody. And I don't recommend that route. So take a note from my book and a lesson that I had to learn the hard way. Give yourself at least one day off a week. At least one day off. And I mean like a full day off, you know, because I started implementing this after leaving the spa industry many years ago. And, you know, if many of you may not have known me for that long, but I was a massage therapist for 10 years. And I worked in the spa industry, and I was super overworked. And I decided to go to Ayurvedic school, and I had to give up my job at the spa I was working at. And, you know, I was going to school and trying to be my own independent massage therapist and start to create my own practice. And I had to hustle. I had to be on that grind, and I had to make it work, you know. And like Les Brown says, you got to be hungry. And I was hungry to create financial freedom in my life on my own time, with my own schedule, within my own environment that I wanted to create. But it took hustle, and it took grit, and it took me like being on the grind to make that happen. But one thing that I wish I would have done differently, one thing for sure I wish I would have done differently, was give myself more time to rest and give myself one day off. It took me a while to create a schedule for myself where I did have that one day off, but you know what would happen? I would use that day off to like catch up on my work and catch up on my to-do list and catch up on all the laundry and house cleaning and all that stuff. And so it didn't really feel like a day off. So if you need one day for catch up, right, as my coach and I have established with me and my schedule, is I have one day off that is an admin day. So it's a day off. I don't have to show up anywhere, be at work or talk to any clients or any students. And that's Monday, for those of you that are sending me emails on Mondays and don't hear back from me and want to know why. Monday is my admin day. It's my first day off of the week where I get to sort of regroup and plan out my schedule and plan out my to-do list and plan out all the things that I have to get done. Now, I don't always utilize my Monday as an admin day, and like this Monday, I was just out for the count and I needed to just rest, and so it definitely put me behind this week, but or this last week. But luckily I have a second day off during the week, which is Wednesday, and that allowed me to catch up on my work. But Wednesdays, as my coach and I have established, is my official day off, and I protect that day off like a newborn baby. That really just resonated with me being a mom. It was like, oh, I got to protect my day off like a brand new baby and not let anything get in the way of messing with it. And it's taken me some time to really honor those days and those times. And so I'm sharing with you from my experience, hoping that you learn quicker than I do and you don't have to struggle for as long as I did and endure the symptoms of not giving yourself the time to rest as I have, because it once you reach that point of burnout, it does take a long time to rehabilitate strength and vitality and vibrancy in the body. So I really, really recommend that you take this quote and this message for today to heart and know that it's okay to rest. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. Right? It means that you are taking time to recoup and regain the energy that you need to get up and fight another day, to fight that good fight, to fight for your dreams and your vision and the life that you know you deserve to live. I was raised in a household where my dad was always telling me that I was lazy, constantly telling me that I was lazy. And I'm sure as a kid, I was. Like, what kid doesn't want to be lazy and just, veg out and do nothing after being in school all day long, and you just want to enjoy your weekends? And I think there's a reason for that, that we deserve that downtime. And so anyways, I grew up with this idea in my head that I am lazy and that I don't work hard enough. And when I talk to my friends and my peers and the people around me and I hear their perspective of me, I have to remind myself that I am not lazy and that I do work hard, and that by taking a day off or taking some downtime or some quiet time for myself or not responding to text messages or emails right away doesn't make me lazy. It actually makes me a wise person by setting a boundary for myself and giving myself the time to take care of me and my being and my body temple and my sanity so that I can continue to serve you guys. If I can't sustain my energy, I cannot continue to show up to serve you. If I can't sustain my mental sanity, I can't show up for my kids in a healthy way. It's important that we take time to rest. So I challenge you to look at your week or your month and just check in. Have you scheduled time for rest? Have you scheduled time for downtime, like real nurturing time? And you got to discover for yourself what is restful time. And on that note, I'll just end with this. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Really make sure that you are getting enough sleep. And my friends, I'm here to tell you that 6 hours or less is not nearly enough sleep. If you get 6 hours or less of sleep, you are cognitively drunk. Science proves it. Your cognition does not function well. You don't make good decisions. You're really foggy. Your speech is slurred. You trip over nothing. And all these things happen. And so, are you rested? Are you getting rest? Do you make time for sleep? And do you have at least 1 day or 2 days a week where you get to recuperate and you actually do the activities that help you feel restored? Whether it is taking a long bath or, going to a nice restorative yoga class or sitting down or reading that good book that you've been wanting to read for a while, or just lying on your couch having a nice cup of tea and hanging out with your kids, or your spouse, or your loved ones, or your friends. Maybe for you it's getting out in nature and watching the sunset, or being on the beach, or going for a good hike. make sure that you get time to rest. Maybe, oh my God, maybe it's taking a nap. Woo! Do you know that most geniuses, recorded geniuses in history, one thing that they all had in common was that they all napped. They all napped. Einstein was famous for his napping. And so, oh my God, maybe you take a nap. And moms, I know we struggle with this one the most. We feel so guilty. There's so much to be done. How could I nap? You need the time to rest. So give yourself that time, whether it's a 10-minute nap or an hour nap or a 2-hour nap, whatever it is, make sure that you get that time to rest. And don't forget that even a 10-minute shavasana in your bedroom, your living room, wherever it is, 10 minutes of shavasana is equal to 1 hour of sleep. So if you only have 10 minutes to spare, I highly, highly recommend that you give yourself that shavasana. All right, so I will leave you with this action item to look at your week ahead of you and the next 2 weeks and maybe even the rest of the month, and make sure that you have, I recommend 1 day a week where you get to rest and you get an official day off to just, not have a schedule, not anywhere to be, or not any emails to answer, or no alarm that you have to wake up to. And all of us live different lives, so you may not be able to get all those things, and that's okay. I don't have a day off where I get to sleep in. It just doesn't happen. But you may have that. So I just encourage you to take time and see what you can do with the schedule that you have. See what you can do with the schedule that you have. And don't give me that excuse, I've tried everything, because I'd love to see your list of everything that you tried, and I'd love to see that long, long list of everything that you tried. You can carve out some time to rest. It should be a priority for you to carve out some time to rest. And I'll ask you, what is it costing you to not give yourself restful time? What is it costing you? And is it worth it? Is that cost worth it to not rest? So take some time today, tomorrow, this evening, whenever, to just look at your schedule and look at your calendar and make sure that you have some resting time in there. And if all else fails and you can't get that day off, make sure that you are getting 8 hours of sleep every night. It's important that we get that time of sleep. If you'd like to learn more about scientific research on sleep, I highly recommend Arianna Huffington's book called Thrive, where she talks a lot about this. And then subsequently after that, she wrote a whole book, I believe it was called Sleep. I haven't read that one, but I have heard really great things about it. She ended up doing a bunch of research on sleep and why we have gotten it all wrong for the last few decades. So my friends, I hope that you find time to rest, and remember that it doesn't mean that you're being lazy. It means that you are taking care of yourself so that you can keep fighting that good fight. All right, Life Warrior, I hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous week. If you found this message helpful, please forward it to a friend, share it on your Facebook page, share the YouTube link on your text messages with your friends, whatever it is. I'm always sharing resources that I find with my close friends because I want to see them rise and grow with me, and as much as I want to see you rise and grow with me too, which is why I make these videos. So please, please, please don't be greedy with the knowledge. Share it with a friend and pass on the good news. All right, Life Warrior, keep your head up and your heart open wide, and I will see you next Monday. Peace and blessings. Namaste.